Enniskillen is a town full of many different art pieces, from murals to sculptures. Now, the art piece that stood out to me was the train Myrtle. Myrtle was made from items found around the house by Gordon Johnson, who sadly passed away in 2012. I am joined by his wife, Tony Johnson, now to talk about this amazing train and its creation.
Gordon always invented things, and he liked making things out of rubbish, and he loved big machines. And so whenever my daughter was in Cork doing a course, she's an art therapist, we'd gone down to see her, and she said to him, "There's a man here has some iron wheels and he wondered if you would like them." And Gordon said, "Of course I would like them." And she said, "Yes, I told him that." So we were bringing them back in the car was laden down, and he said, "I think I'll make a train." And that really was the start of it.
Myrtle may be a train made from everyday items, but there is a technical side to her that allows it to function and move up a track. And for some time now, Colin has worked on Myrtle, maintaining and ensuring the upkeep is to the highest standard. Colin is here to talk now about the technical side of the train and how she works as a result of his input.
This is where Gordon would have actually sat in with the engine when it was going.
Yep.
So you wouldn't have seen him at all while it was moving up and down the railroad.
So he would sit under there, but you couldn't see him. So when anyone came to see Myrtle, the doors of the workshop would burst open and out would come this train.
But one of the most unusual things he would have carried was a CO2 fire extinguisher, which while he was sitting inside here would have fired it off up the chimney.
But he always loved locomotives, and he thought he would like to make something big and make it from scratch. And so he had so much stuff in the house. I mean, if you really examine Myrtle, you'll see all the things that she's made of.
You know, you've got bits of bed, bits of coffee makers, bits of hot water tanks. You know, it's basically every time, Tony would say that every time he went to the dump to get rid of stuff, he came back with more than what he went with.
And he loved to be able to see what he could do with things that people usually wouldn't use. Yeah. He rarely bought anything. He used to go to sales and he would buy what they called a box of sundry goods, which was a box about that size, which contained all the things that they couldn't think what to do with. Old bottles, old razor blades, drills, all sorts of bits of broken machinery. And he would buy that for £1 or something and bring it home. And then he would just keep it in that workshop, which was never allowed to be tidied or anything. So that's where they were all kept.
All the motors that were in the train itself all had to be taken out, and the batteries, because it was ran off car batteries, so there was 3 large car batteries, but the motors were 8 to 18 amp motors. So what I did is I changed all the motors to 12-volt motors. So instead of the 3 large motors, I think there's 8 small motors. So I had to literally climb inside his head and figure out how he actually did it. Because when I was working on the electrics, you could actually see as he added something on or something broke, he just added a piece in.
We used it here, and we put railway lines out, and we used it for things like coffee mornings for cancer and things, and she would run up and down the yard there, and that was lovely, and it was just nice. And so whenever after he died, we thought that it would be lovely for Myrtle to be given to the town, because there wasn't any public art in the town. But since Myrtle has gone in, things have progressed well, and we now have the swallows, and we have the murals, and we have a variety of different things in the town. But at the time it was quite hard to get her put where she was, but everybody loved her, and we get people coming into the butter market, and sometimes I get a phone call and they say there's a man down here and he's from Birmingham and he wants to know about the something or other of this train. So I would go down and talk to him, and that's nice, but it means a lot to our family. I have a family of 4 and we're all involved, and so yes. Inside this thing was him, but nobody could see him, so it was like some kind of amazing, I don't know, modern film, only it really wasn't a modern film at all. And so that was how we did it, and I think that magic was lovely. A lot of children absolutely loved it, and they never wanted to drive it, they just wanted to be there with it, and I suppose they saw it as a kind of fairy story, you know.